is very much giving cooking the figures, cooking the numbers, and just pulling numbers out of your BBL. That's what it is giving. And it's sad at this point. It's pathetic. And the desperation to get a response, a reaction, is very evident. Because Advocate BBL decided to go on Spaces yesterday, and she was basically bragging about her tour, talking about, oh, why would Live Nation lie? Why would touring data lie? The same Live Nation that is allegedly under investigation is the one that you're saying, why would they lie? The same Live Nation with the executives caught red-handed talking smack about the customers. Those same executives are still running Live Nation, and somehow you're asking us, why would they lie? I don't know. You tell us why a monopoly would lie. You tell us why a company whose executives have been questioned morally. Tell us why a company whose executives' integrity has been questioned and is currently being questioned would lie. Tell us why they would do that. Like, really, what type of a question is that? And to use that as your comeback is ridiculous, okay? And at this point, I don't even know who also is doing this behind the scenes and why they decide to just embarrass her like that. I mean, it was enough that they were making up achievements by first leg, second leg, this leg, and now, on top of making up those achievements, they're even rounding up numbers and changing figures and deleting stats and reposting stats. All of it is making her look bad. All of that is making her look like she has fraudulent figures, and because of that, people are not taking those numbers seriously, really. And I think it's getting to her because, I mean, you just recently came off a world tour and you're already on Twitter Spaces trying to prove a point, trying to say you will go and tour overseas, blah blah blah. I'm just looking at her like, ma'am, go sit down, okay? No one cares. Nick is not going to care, and the self contradiction also is top notch because you say you're not competing with Nicki Minaj, but then you go ahead and say, if I do another leg, you're gonna cry. If I do another like, so which one is it? Are you competing or are you not competing? Do you think Nikki is your peer or do you think she's not? Which one is it? I mean, surely for someone who's not competing, she does try too hard to make up achievements that don't exist. And I do feel like the numbers are not getting enough hype as she thought they would. And that's the reason why she has to try and create some commotion around the numbers in the hopes that Nicki Minaj will respond. Because whenever Nicki Minaj does respond to someone, she kind of amplifies whatever she responds to. I think it was Amon Wiggins that I saw saying that Nicki Minaj breathes life into things. It was Amon, I think. Somebody on Twitter, I saw someone talking about how, something doesn't even have that much attention until Nicki Minaj says something. And then all of a sudden, everyone is paying attention. It's all eyes on that subject. And I feel like that's what she's kind of hoping for Nicki to say something, because then people will start saying, oh, look at her, she's bitter, she's not even happy. Oh my God. And then her fake achievement, the made up achievement, will get some form of attention. And I thank God that Nicki Minaj is not playing those games in 2026. She's out there minding her business, as she should. I'm really truly happy, and I pray that she continues to do the same thing. Ignore her into oblivion, because what the hell? You got the made up title and the fake achievement and the sit fillers. Now celebrate. What's the problem? Why can't you just celebrate your manufactured success? Why can't you do that? It's because she knows deep down that whatever figures that are being thrown out, chances are there's been some Caucasian there. She knows deep down, and I've said it over and over again, that the only time she feels any form of satisfaction is if she ever feels like she's been able to get under Nicki Minaj's skin, or if she gets an acknowledgement from Nicki Minaj that, oh, I saw your numbers and I'm bothered by it. That's the only time that she feels like she has achieved something, which is a very weird thing, especially if the person whose acknowledgement you're craving is someone you claim to hate. But then again, it's somebody who's obsessed with another person, so obviously they do care for their acknowledgement. It's a situation where you adore someone to the point where you're becoming obsessed, and now you want their face, you want their achievements, you want them to see you. Oh my God, it's just weird. But I thank God that Nicki is not playing into that drama in 2026. That being said, we might actually be getting a new look from Nicki Minaj, and I cannot wait to see what she's going to be rocking, because, well, it is actually being reported that she is set to attend a dinner at the White House, and she's going to be under the same room with the Gavin Newsoms, the Kamala Harrises, the Zoran Mayer, as well as President Donald Trump. So yeah, that's going to be very interesting. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if by some other people, who exactly I'm talking about, instead of resting from their tour, they might want to make an appearance. They yearn for the attachment from Nicki Minaj. Whenever Nicki's name is mentioned, they try to be mentioned also on the opposite end of, whatever that is. So I hope they're not going to be silly to do something like that, but I cannot wait for us to be served a new look. Okay, that's all I care about. And as far as the political affiliation is concerned, I mean, that's her decision. For me, as a fan, I'm just waiting for a new look, for an appearance, and that's that. Let me know in the comment section if you are also excited for that. Now, let's move on to the next thing that we're going to be talking about. Still speaking about fraudulence and stuff like that, let us talk about the allegations that Spotify is allegedly under investigation. Not just Spotify, but also Apple Music, basically the two main streaming platforms. And it seems like the Attorney General is not playing about this, and it is allegedly tied to iHeart Media, the payola situation that transpired in 2025. And honestly, I am very excited. And allegedly, some sources are saying that the rapper Drake's recent lawsuit with Universal has assisted in this happening. Honestly, I just feel like everything should just be fair. It is not fair for institutions to take part in determining the fate of other artists just because some powerful executives behind the scenes don't like said artists. It's not fair. It is not fair for streaming platforms to be doing pay for play. It's not good. And I do hope that they are able to find something because these people have been playing on both fans and artists' top for a very long time. And it's high time somebody brings them to book, okay? And I hope that they will be also able to expose whoever benefited from the polarization of such platforms. Because there are some people that just made disappearing X all of a sudden, and we thought they were massive stars. What happened to them? What's going on behind the scenes? Let us know. Speaking about people who disappeared into thin air, academics is not letting up on Dochi, okay? You remember that Twitter post that was allegedly botted because it had the same amount of engagement as the one of Ronaldo, and people are like, oh my god, what's going on? Is she that famous? You remember when Dochi was doing her rounds and TDE was being accused of botting the artist's engagement? So, this is what academics had to say. He said, never forget they tried to make it seem like Doechii was on the level of Taylor Swift and Ronaldo level fame. Now ask yourself, when's the last time you heard about her? And ask yourself, where did all her fans go? And was it ever real? Like to be to be honest, I haven't been meeting any Doechii fans, on X or anywhere on the internet. But at a certain point in time, X was full of them. Where are they? Have they not yet been activated? Are they human beings? Or are they somewhere in India being manufactured at a bot farm? Like I have not seen them. I really haven't, which is very worrying because one thing I know is that, even with or without new music, Nicki Minaj fans, you will always see them on the internet. Taylor Swift fans, with or without new music, you will always see them on the internet. Okay, but when it comes to Doechii, all of a sudden, when she doesn't have any new projects, we don't see her fans. We don't even see anyone talking about her or mentioning her. I mean, recently she was on a soundtrack with Gaga. It didn't do well, I mean, but we didn't see those massive fans, those ones that used to like her post 500,000 times. Half a million times they were liking, half a million fans were liking her, her ex posts. They're nowhere to be found now. But let me know in the comment section, you guys, what you think about that. Now, the screenshot that I'm looking at is crazy. So on Ronaldo's post, there are 30 comments, 50,000 reposts, 551,000 likes, and 80 million impressions. 80. Okay. And on Dochi's post, there are 334 comments, as opposed to the 30k comments on Ronaldo's post. However, the likes are 500,000 and the impressions are 9.7 million. The ratio is not ratioing, okay? Something is off somewhere, and I don't know why TDE does stuff like this because, yeah, like academics said back then, it will do more harm than good to someone's career when you just randomly start to bot their work, their posts, and stuff like that. Instead of actually cultivating a fan base, people will start feeling like you are trying to force that person on them, and in the long run, it has a negative effect. Okay, what they were doing right there is not good, and I guess they were trying to ride off, the Kendrick wave to make sure that all TDE artists are being seen. Or maybe they were utilizing the same boats. I don't know what they were doing, but it was during that Kendrick wave that they were doing the most, okay? And that's when also the allegations of them trying to replace the big three, that's when those allegations started coming out. Speaking about the big three, let's talk about Lil Wayne. Now, it's very funny to me how the people that previously were not publicly and in the open coming for Lil Wayne are now coming for him. And this time the disrespect is very loud, it's very direct. Ebro is out there running his mouth, saying whatever, discrediting everything that Lil Wayne has ever worked for. But then again, with the Young Money Boys, they saw it coming. They thought they were bigger than the program. When they started with Nicki Minaj, that was the industry testing the waters to see how much united the three of them were. And of course, they said Nicki should handle her own. And for some reason, they thought they would be spared. And one by one, the industry is coming after all of them. And before you realize it, they are now directly also coming and discrediting and erasing everything that Weezy has ever done. That's what you get when you don't know how to stand on principle. Drake thought he was slick. Drake thought that Lucian was going to be with him to the ends, up to the ends of time. When the execs were coming for Nicki Minaj. I mean, he even brought out Advovo BBL, okay, to perform together. Called her the hardest working female rapper in the game. Thought that she was immune to the industry games. But now look at what's happening. They're coming for you because they realize that you're not loyal to anyone. You guys were not loyal to your sister, and now it's easy to take you down. Had you guys stuck together, they wouldn't have had the power to erase your impact like this. Had you guys stood by Nicki Minaj when the industry started playing these gimmicks, we wouldn't be here. But this is the reward that you get, Lil Wayne, for leaking someone's behind who wouldn't even spit on you if you were on fire. If that man was ever caught spitting on you and you were burning, it was for his own benefit. It wasn't necessarily to save you. And somehow I do feel like the spit of disgust that, was spat on his face when he was burning, he thought that, well, it's a spit of love. He thought that the man was trying to put out the fire for him. Meanwhile, the guy was just spitting on him out of disgust. I'm talking about the text situation. I don't know how that became about spitting fire and saving lives. I don't know, you guys, but sometimes stuff like this just, it just comes up. But you get what I'm saying. He thought it was love when that man was helping him with his texts. He didn't realize that he was doing it for his own benefit to basically sun him. And sun him he did. Because look at him right now. He's still running, I go to Jay, I go to Jay. Meanwhile, all the media personalities that work for Jay are out there disrespecting you and your legacy. You think that Ibra and Joe Budden all of a sudden just grew disrespect for you from nowhere? Like, you think that just came from nowhere? No, it's coming from somewhere. And that somewhere you're not willing and ready to accept. You still think that, oh my God. But anyway, let me insert what Ibra had to say. And at this point, I'm sorry, I don't feel sorry for Wayne. I don't feel sorry for Drake. Okay, sometimes I do. But, I do feel like they also do deserve it, okay? They could have avoided all of this. But, well, this is the path they chose. But anyway, thank you so much, you guys, for watching, and thank you very much for making it this far. If you have not already, what are you waiting for? Smash that subscribe button and do turn on the notification bell so that you will be notified each and every time that I post. And until my next one, see you.
These places where you do clearly want to be invited, right, would be inviting you because they would see that you're having
more about the product and the craft,
whatever. Listen, I think Lil Wayne's also had a stellar career, so I think he's just starting to care more. He's getting older, and he's looking around and saying to himself, like any competitor and somebody who's great, like, what things haven't I conquered and why haven't I conquered them? Right. You know what I mean? If that, because he wanted to be the greatest rapper, and he convinced y'all that he was the greatest rapper alive. And
what was that? What was that? Time out, stop. Tweet. What was the shade right there?
What?
It was really at low, because he was one of the bloggers propagating that.
Oh, wow, that went over my head. That happened so fast. Okay, convinced y'all. I missed it.
Wow. And at one point he was. And he convinced us. At one point he was. So yes, I stand on that. And a lot of people stand on that.
He convinced y'all. and so...
Like, what's with the shade today, bro?
Like, today, that's everybody.
Finally he makes it.
Right. Today, like, you acting like, what are you saying, bro? But at any rate, he is one of the GOATs, man. And he clearly, to y'all who are the social media police and, the arbiters of what you're allowed to do in public on social media.
It's not about
you don't like him putting his feelings on social media. So, Wayne, if you're watching this, now that you're outside your bubble, listen to what social media says about how you're supposed to use it and use it correctly, which is not to do this.
You want to continue to do that?
I don't give a damn if that's what you want to do. I don't care what people do. I'm not like y'all.
How do you think it is for an artist like Wayne? Like, you can't speak on Coachella, right?
I think I think he's a human being. Whether he said this on social media or said this in a song, right? Like,
it would still be
received. What if he said it to a person who can make the phone call for him? Like, how hard is it for Wayne to still get booked for big,
I don't know.
Big festivals?
I have zero idea. I don't know.
I mean, he's also a headache behind the scenes when it comes to... One, he's not that good of a performer, if you look at it.
We're getting into some things now.
Two, I think that the maintenance of him trying to deal with these events is not going to go over well. We've seen how late he's been to a lot of shit. I think a lot of people don't want to deal with stuff like that.
All right. Well.
And that goes back to your point about taking more care of this thing you call your career.